Mayong hapon sa tanan. Good afternoon, everyone. Or should say it's almost evening time. I wanted to continue our discussion. Yesterday I talked about if you're moving to another country for retirement or considering it, some things to consider is some of the major ones is healthcare. A lot of people wonder, and the older you get, more tendency you will have to need medical care and I need to take medications and whatnot. Um, so if you haven't watched that video, you can go back and watch that video from yesterday, um, and that'll give you a little bit more insight and preparation for moving abroad, moving to another country when you're considering healthcare options. But today I wanted to talk about what it would be like to live in another country, more specifically the Philippines. What can you expect? Um, you know, you can find anything in the Philippines pretty much that you can in any other country, even in the U.S. You can find the luxury accommodations. I mean, some five-star places to live. I mean, some very fancy houses, and I'll put some pictures up of some modern houses here. They're state of the art, computerized, all the security. Um, you can be in a gated community where you have full time security guards. You can even be in an apartment complex. Um, you can high rise apartments, big cities, small provinces. And like I said, I'll post a few videos and pictures for you to see and where you make some comparisons. So anything pretty much you can find within your budget. So if you were wanting to live a more luxurious life for a cheaper price than you can in America, you can find it here. Things are much, much cheaper here. Um, but like I said, you can find whatever price value you're looking for. If you want to spend, a lot of money per month, there's places you can find um, that as well. But the typical Filipino, they only make about $5 to $7 a day. So for the majority of people, they live very simple. The housing is pretty modest. Some are made out of bamboo. Some are made out of just simple wood. Um, and some, if they're concrete, it's just blocks and it's not being finished. So a lot of them are just unfinished. They don't have any plastering on the wall of blocks. Um, and the roof is very simple. Sometimes the roof is rusted, and not knocking anything to do with the Philippines. That's perfectly normal. Everyone has their price point and what they're comfortable with and not. Um, but they live a very simple life here, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. When I go in to see people in their homes, um, for the most part, it's all clean, and I like that they appreciate what they have and they take good care of it. Um, and even if it's bamboo, I love a bamboo house. If you've ever been inside one, it's kind of scary for about a guy my size to be in the bamboo flooring because sometimes I feel like my foot's going to fall through on some of the homes, especially the older ones um, with the bamboo. But don't get me wrong, I've been in a lot of houses where the bamboo is pretty sturdy and pretty strong on the flooring. But as far as the walls go, the aesthetics are very pleasing. The grass roofs, um, made out of palm trees and palm leaves, they're very beautiful. I like that. I've stayed in a few places, around the islands here where the thatched roof made out of palm leaves. It's quite interesting, and I like it. And certainly, when it rains, it's muddled. It's not very loud like it is on a metal roof. And so I kind of like that look um, myself, and that's what I like to have on my farm. But now, if you want to build a nice, luxurious home out of concrete, you can do so. Um, and there's nothing wrong with being able to find a lot of materials here. So yeah, you can find a lot and do a lot here in the Philippines. So it all depends on what you're looking for. If you want a big city, or if you're looking for a quiet province area, or even on the beach, you can do it. And as far as malls, they have big, huge malls here. And you can find just about anything you want. Now, I will say this much: the problem I have for the most part is I'm a big guy. I'm 6'2". I have size 12 shoes, and I am 87 kilos, which is I'm about 180 to 185 pounds, and so that's much bigger than most Filipinos. And given my height being 6'2" and my size shoe being 12, it's kind of hard to find clothes that will fit me. I wear an extra large shirt in American size, but here it's like triple X size, and usually it's not long enough or it's too narrow across the shoulders. And if I find a shirt, button-down shirt, it won't button around my neck. And then finding shoes is near impossible. It's very hard. I know probably in Manila, you can probably find them. In Davao, I've looked at all the malls down there, and it's very hard to find. I found a couple places that has my size, but the quality of shoe that I'm looking for just wasn't there. So it's very hard to find certain things, and if you're a big guy like me, and then of course if you're overweight, it's kind of hard too sometimes. So that's the only biggest problem I have here. So if you're planning on going back and forth to the United States on a regular basis, or your other or your own country, wherever it may be, you can just shop there as far as the clothes if you're having unique circumstances like myself. Um, and I know my kids, my daughter and my son both, they have very large feet. My daughter, she's 9.5, and my son is almost 10, and my wife, she's size 9 as well. So we all have big feet, and it's hard for my kids to find shoes that fit them as well. My son, it's a little bit easier, but my daughter, women's shoes are hard to find that size, 9.5. My wife even has a hard time with finding size 9 shoes for women, because Filipinos just don't usually have big feet. But if you're a size 9, 10, 10.5, oh, you'll be able to find shoes very well here. And like I said, you just have to really shop around. And if you're looking for gated communities, things like that, food, eateries, oh, you can find it. There are American foods here, especially in bigger cities. And so some very luxurious dining experiences can be found here. Of course, McDonald's is everywhere. Burger King. I haven't been able to find Taco Bell around my area. They may be in Manila, but not really sure if they're there. Pizza Hut. Oh yeah, you can find Pizza Hut and Papa John's here in the bigger cities. In Davao, I've seen Pizza Hut in Manila, but it's kind of interesting when you go into Pizza Hut. There are white tablecloths on the tables with silverware and everything else. It's like a fine dining experience, so it's kind of unique. But yeah, I mean, they have Olive Garden and a few other things in Manila. So it's there. And the beaches here, it's white sandy beaches, some turquoise water. Wonderful diving experiences and different excursions. Um, there's water activities galore you can find here, especially at the resorts where you go um, and hang out. You can do rent like a little bungalow or a little gazebo even when you go to the beach, um, and spend the day there. And it's fairly cheap. And as far as buying a car, if you're looking at wanting to drive here, um, then you can buy a nice car. You can buy a brand new Nissan Navara, which is a very nice truck, for around $29,000, $30,000. And if you want to buy a Toyota, like a Toyota Hilux is one of my favorites. It's about 35, 36,000 US dollars, and that's brand new. And of course, you can find one used um, a lot cheaper. But typically, cars here hold their value better than they do in America. And if you buy a used car, it's not really an issue to have it worked on. There's a lot of places that work on cars. They have very good work, very good service, and the parts here, are better priced in America, but they're still the pricier part of getting things fixed. But the labor, like I said, typical um, Filipino makes about $5 to $7 a day. So labor here is very cheap. So it's more affordable to have a car worked on. Most things I get fixed, I don't spend more than 10, 15, $20 in labor. Um, and even though I spent nearly 5,000 pesos, which is nearly $100 for parts, I only spend 15, $20 on labor. So it's not really that bad. And I've had my car for 2 years, and I think I've only spent maybe $800, $900 in 2 years of maintenance, replacing belts and tires, and had to replace a starter and get it fixed, and fix my air conditioner a few times, and just a few things here and there. But I haven't spent that much, and I have a 2011 Mitsubishi Estrada. So yeah, you can find things in your price point, and getting a license here is very easy. Your initial license, when you come over here initially, you have 90 days to change your license over, and then it's a really easy process. You just have to go and take your driver's license, and they call surrendering your U.S. driver's license, but you're not surrendering it. All you're doing is just going there, and they take a copy of it, and then you get your U.S. license back, and they give you a Philippine license. And it's not really that difficult. It just sometimes you have to wait to get the plastic. You just get a paper copy for initially, and then it takes a while for you to get the plastic. Sometimes you have to try over and over and over to get it. But that's basically it. And then getting insurance for cars, that's kind of iffy. When you get registration, you already get I could get like $2,000 of insurance, and it renews every year that you do your registration. But you can buy extra insurance, and it's a little bit harder. It's easier for someone who is Filipino to get license here. I mean, get insurance here. But it's not impossible for a foreigner to get insurance. You have to be more diligent to find it. There you go. Some things are just not readily available when you can't find. And depending where you are too, you might have to order some things on Shopee or Lazada, and which is really not that bad. Shipping is only like $2 or $3 to get it shipped, and it takes anywhere, depending on where you are in the country, can take 2 days. But where I'm at, it takes 7 to 10 days, because I'm far south in Mindanao, and typically most everything is shipped from Batangas or Luzon, which is around Manila. There's a few things I can order that's from Davao, but not very many. But I typically like to order stuff because it saves me gas having to drive and go there. And you can also own a motor. motorcycle. Most everybody here drives motorcycles. I don't mind driving one around my barangay local areas. It's easy and convenient to get around. But if I'm driving for far or in an area that I'm not familiar with, I prefer to drive my truck. But anyway, that just gives you a little bit of insight of things, how it looks like here to drive around and enjoy the area. So anything you fit your lifestyle, pretty much, you can find here. But like I said yesterday on the healthcare and everything, you can stretch your dollar, American dollar, by considering moving to the Philippines. You certainly won't be um, at a disadvantage for moving here. Another thing you want to consider is food. I know we talked about a little bit what's available here, luxurious and so forth, but um, something a little bit more difficult. Rice, just about on every meal. Um, and there again, if you're in a bigger city or in the countryside, uh, the Palinki is like the food market, farmer's market. You go in there and you can find anything, all the fruits that you can imagine. A lot of extra fruits you may have never heard of in America, but they're very good and very delicious. Then you have the meat market. They have it out there on the tables and everything, and that's just freshly killed for the day. And you go there and you buy it. It's not refrigerated and it's not iced down, but which is perfectly okay. I've been doing it for several years now, and it's no issues. Even the fish, the same way. Um, you go there and you catch the fresh fish for the day. Um, and so they have the fish market, and it's kind of smelly and stinks, but you can buy any size fish that you want, tuna or, a lot of different varieties here. So just give you a little bit of insight what it's like to live here. And so anyway, I hope you find this content enjoyable. You can go online and search. But like I said, I'll post some pictures along with this video to let you see. But I appreciate everyone for watching and supporting this channel. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And share this content. That will help me grow my channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. As always, remember, life is short. Make the best of it.